If today was the last day of your life, are you happy what you're doing? This is the focus group.
It's the savvy side of 9 to 5. Listen.
Bueller.
Laugh. And learn.
Negotiation. This is what you do in business.
This is the focus group with Tim Bennett.
Staunch.
And John Nash.
Keep your clothes looking neat and clean.
We're all business. Except when we're not.
Hello, welcome to the focus group, everybody. It's January 15th. If you work for yourselves like we do, get your taxes in. Aren't they due today?
No.
January 15th, government, federal taxes, 15th. January.
You can tell that in our outfit. Hi, I'm John.
January 15th, taxes due.
March 15th is for
January 15th.
For estimated tax payments.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Either you pay them at the end of the year or you pay them by
You're
January
federal.
15th. Yeah.
You pay the local early.
Only if you're going to get the tax break. You do because
You
of
don't
the
do that?
Oh, no need to anymore because they kneecapped us.
Well, then why am I dishing all this money? Welcome to the focus group. Why am I dishing all that money out? This is Tim Bennett here with my good friend and co-host, Mr. John Nash. I've got to do all the setup.
Yes,
Be
you
sure
do.
to join us here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. East. And thanks to all of you that watch our podcast, TFG Unbuttoned, or listen to our podcast, TFG Unbuttoned. You can find Unbuttoned and the Focus Group at focusgroupradio.com, and our social media is all branded Focus Group Radio. Okay, now we can talk about
Now,
this taxes
so
thing.
quarterly estimated payments. If you live in a state like California, New York, or any of the states that have high state and local taxes, you used to be able to deduct all your state and local taxes until the new tax law came along, and they cap it at $10,000. And most people can no longer deduct all their state and local. So there's no point in paying your state and local in New York.
Why did Jack have the thing for
because that's his.
Jack told me I'd do it.
Because
my little guidance letter.
You benefit from it. You'll benefit from it.
What would I benefit from?
Because
Not
Pennsylvania doesn't have the, you don't have crazy taxes like we do. Crazy high.
I will say that based upon the taxes I have to pay here in New York, I think I'll never pay tax again in Philadelphia.
Yeah. You get, what are they, credits or something?
We should move the show.
Well, I'd be up for that. To where?
Delaware.
But Delaware,
Wilmington.
no.
Just one more chain stop.
I thought you were going to suggest a remote location that was Caribbean in nature, or perhaps
You could do that.
take the boys in the booth with us.
I'm just wondering if you still have to do New York. We had to at SiriusXM because that's where the studio was.
Well, we still have to do that because that's, we're in New York right now. So it's something called the nexus of taxation.
But if you were in PA, would it be less money?
Yeah.
Well, you might want to look at that.
We have to take the boys in the booth with us, though.
Well, the boys in the booth. Listen. We did some research, and we have a younger demographic that's watching, and someone said it's because of the boys in the booth.
You're
That's
welcome.
anecdotal, huh?
You're welcome.
But
welcome.
Did Garrett get the anecdotal part? You think it's anecdotal?
Well, I asked a couple of people. I said we used to have a large audience, a significant audience of 45 to 54. And it's changed now, 24 to 35. And so I said, well, what do you think the change is? And a couple of people said they think it's the boys in the booth.
Well, I've often said that people have commented to me like, what are the boys in the booth like? I'm like, they're great. How about me?
Oh, darn it. You know what? I forgot to, and I keep meaning to do it. I found that onesie thing for Garrett to wear. Maybe in the spring, because it will be a little cold.
Perfect.
You did find the step-in.
International Male Step-In. The Step-In.
Was it still in the package?
Yeah. I got one that's open, the blue one, and I have a red one that's still in the package, which I can give to Garrett. He can do the red one. He's turning red. You're going to come on camera and model that for us, Garrett.
All right.
And maybe we'll raise money for something.
Step-in. We'll raise money for the...
I have two of them. Steve, would you do it too?
Yeah, it's not even a question. Of course I would.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
then I'll bring them both.
Something ridiculous and stupid, it's all I do.
It's going to be a step-in party.
Step-in party. The one's only been tried on once, but I'll make sure it's clean.
So what Tim's referring to, in case you missed a couple episodes, is we profiled this film company that wants to make a movie about the International Male catalog, famous catalog from the 80s and into the early 90s, I guess. And Tim had ordered something called a Step-In, which is like a onesie kind of thing, right?
It looked great on the models.
Yeah, well,
It was nice, tight, and clingy, and really was
always,
something.
they always
We'll see.
do.
And when I was cleaning up and putting away holiday stuff and doing all my kind of purge, and I came across these, and I said, so you have to remind me. You have to send me a note to remind me to bring them.
The step-in.
Maybe Valentine's Day. Maybe the Valentine's Day show. That'll be a good one to do. The step-in. We'll do the step-in, and that way we can promote it.
So, I just made a note of it. Step in from
Step in.
I am International Male. It does not mean instant message. Have you gotten a chance to watch all of The Crown Season 3?
So I'll tell you how far I am. I'm as far as
So you're taking it.
the king died. Oh, I don't want to let anything away.
You mean
give anything away?
Eric
King George.
Jacobi as Duke of Windsor.
Yeah.
So that was called The Hanging Man, that episode. That's
what
where
it's
she
called.
goes to France to see him, and he's
Right.
very ill. Yeah, there's a complimentary podcast that Netflix produces called The Crown, and it's actually hosted by, I think it's a Scottish woman. And so when she says, "Welcome to the Crown podcast," like there's these, but they talk to the directors and the writers. And the reason I brought this up is knowing how much they research this blows you away.
So I was wondering if a lot of this did happen. Was the whole issue with
The Cole thing was real.
Wallace Simpson giving Charles that watch and be
Apparently
careful with
that's
the
true.
family, and
That's true,
it
apparently.
makes it sound like he was very much in love with Camilla from the beginning, and
Oh, you mean in Prince Charles as
yeah,
opposed to the...
So who's the actor? And I don't know where I've seen him before, and I looked him up. James is something Dance, the guy who plays Lord Mountbatten.
Oh, yeah.
Where would I have seen him from?
Okay, well, he was last in Game of Thrones. He played Tyrion Lannister, or the head of the Lannister family. He's been in a lot of...
There's something I've seen him on, but he is a very distinguished.
Oh, and he looks
Yeah.
super distinguished as well.
And I don't remember where I saw him on something else. I don't remember where it was from, but
That was a good episode as well. That's the one where there's the coup,
yes.
where she's off in America looking at all the horse farms and horse methodologies of training. And meanwhile, he's listening to people saying we need to get rid of this Harold Wilson guy. And the guy that plays Harold Wilson, the prime minister, they interviewed him on this podcast. He sounds completely different. His normal speaking voice is like a London accent, but he studied video of Harold Wilson and he created the whole, yeah.
One I thought was a little creepy. I thought Phillips, in one of the episodes, his fascination with the astronauts.
Oh, that's called Moondust. I love that
the name of
episode.
I figured
yeah.
you would have liked that one.
Well, that was the one that really, I've said this word before, verisimilitude, where art imitates life, or life imitates art, I'm sorry. And watching The Crown, it's like, they're all in their early 50s at this point, so it's legacy. What have I done? What am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? And I love that episode because he asked the astronauts, he wants to know these profound questions of like, what was it like to go to the moon? And they really just were following
I don't know. We could look
checklists.
out the window.
Yeah, we didn't have time to do anything. We had to do this, this, and this. And then at the end of it all, they're like, well, what's it like to have a castle?
You
and
live here.
And how many palaces do you have? And
Bagpiper wake you up?
yeah. And the camera's pulling into him very slowly. And the reason they do that is it's sinking into him that they have their role and he has his role. And just because one went to the moon and one's in Buckingham Palace,
I wouldn't mind having the royal gig. I've been reading about it. I think it's pretty good.
yeah, I'm sure you have. I wouldn't mind the royal gig.
Listen, if you were Harry or one of those, you want second. You want number two.
Oh, you want
You
to...
get all the benefit without the aggravation. You,
want
don't have to go open so many hospitals or cement factories
All right,
or whatever.
Anne, Princess Anne,
Yeah,
right?
ideal.
So she's so far down the line of succession that a major calamity would have to happen. That's the life you want. You want to
Just
be
gets the dole and the cars and the castle and the carriage.
and the title.
You don't have to go to all that nonsense.
Get the title, darling. The title.
I was trying to figure out if my family was royal where I'd fit in. We'd be way down on the totem pole though because my mom was a daughter as a daughter as a daughter. So it's not the. If I went through the Wilmot clan, we'd be some obscure cousin hanging out, but I'd be fine with that.
And if this were back in
cottage.
medieval or Renaissance times, you could use that position to somehow get to court. Hey, I'm just going to mention one other thing. I ended up watching a movie that I missed in the theaters. We talked about it on our Deep Discount segment last year, towards the end of the year. Brad Pitt Brad Pitt starred in a movie called Ad Astra. It's Latin for To the Stars. Well, I had seen it, read about it. I wanted to see it in IMAX. I never made it. Someone said the only way to see the movies in IMAX. Anyway, I downloaded the film. Bob and I watched it. This movie starts. I said, if we don't like it, we're not going to finish it. It's near future, and it takes place on the moon, Mars, and out towards Neptune. The movie actually, we loved it. The movie ended, and Bob's like, "Wow." He goes, "A, I was not expecting it to be this good." And then he goes, "B, boy, Brad Pitt's aged very well. He's quite handsome."
Is that your new pass card? Justin Timberlake?
I just said it, Bob. Do you add Brad Pitt to your pass card thing?
What was the one where they went and they were growing potatoes in Mars? Who was that?
That was called Mars. That was Matt Damon.
Damon, that's
plays an astronaut stranded.
So is this better? Is this one better than the
I
Matt
think
Damon
so.
movie?
I think so. I didn't mind the movie.
Where was he going to the moon for? To find his father or something?
He has to go there first because he's taking a rocket from there out to Mars.
Who put a rocket on the moon?
Well, no, this Ad Astra takes place.
So there's an industry on the moon?
Yeah, in fact, there's a really funny scene where he lands on the moon and he's going through this terminal and there's a DHL, there's a Starbucks. And the voiceover is like,
Would you move to the moon?
Well,
You can't breathe up there. Don't you have to be in a suit?
they're underground. They have it's all, yeah. You'll have to, if you ever want to, for you it might be like pulling teeth or having your eye, like Clockwork Orange, where your eyes were going to be open permanently for the whole movie. Enough of that. All right.
I'll be dead. I'm worried about global warming, climate change.
There you go.
You're getting
The big things.
You're getting a latte on the moon.
Yeah. And then mailing something from DHL. Right?
Which I will say, why are the Chinese going to the moon? The Chinese and the Indians want to go to the dark side of the moon. With Pink Floyd, I guess.
Well, it's not been explored that well. I'm not sure that the dirt over on the dark side. Tim,
China.
send a little car up to the moon. No, send a little car, rover to Mars to find out that dirt was dirt.
Had a little robot car. Brought back some dirt. Well, what caught your eye this week?
What caught your eye? Here's what Tim and John found.
If this headline does not tell you exactly why it caught my eye, then nothing else will. And the headline reads, "What did we get stuck in our rectums last year?" What? America continues to lead and to innovate. Apparently, the author of this piece looked at CDC records and also records from the U.S. Consumer Product Safety area. And apparently, emergency rooms report things like patient comes in with this, patient comes in with that. And so he went through ear, nose, throat, penis, vagina, rectum. These are all the things. So I picked,
Putting things in their penis?
Oh, you're going to.
I don't want to hear that.
So we Americans as a people are extremely good at shoving things inside ourselves. We are slightly less good at getting them back out without the aid of trained medical personnel. One thing this guy learned, it's dangerous to be horny. It's very dangerous to be horny. The sheer number of sex toys removed in emergency rooms is too high to include on the list. Too high. The number it skews the data. Skews the data. The number is too high. Second is that men are far, far stupider than women when it comes to estimating what will fit and what will be retrievable. And then it says in parentheses, this is obvious, but it's nice to have the data to back it up. And that's a man who wrote this. So let's start with the ear. There's long lists of everything.
Why don't you put something in your ear?
Well, I'm going to read a couple to you. Here's one. Quotes. Patient says she had wax in ear and attempted to remove with tweezers and piece of string. I'm not even going to go there. Here's one. An emergency room doctor pulled a zip tie out of someone's ear. You know that toy slime that you give? Slime has been pulled out of someone's ear. And my favorite, a plastic spider, like a little toy spider. Yeah.
I could see the slime. Maybe somebody put it in there and pull it out and pull the wax out.
One last one. Here's what's going to make you cringe. Placed thermometer in ear, fell on bed. So that means the thermometer punctured the eardrum. Yeah, okay.
Probably can't hear.
All right, now we're going to move on to what if people put up their noses.
Oh, John.
Here's one.
Let's get to the rectum.
Bug tried to remove with bobby pin now stuck. Who even thinks of this, right? Here's my favorite thing stuck in someone's nose, a googly eye. Can you imagine that? And here's one, a mothball. Someone got a mothball stuck in their nose. Now we're going to move on to the throat. By the way, the throat list is like, it's huge, so I only picked like 4. A laser pointer, to your point, got down the throat. Tropical breeze detergent pod. It got lodged in someone's throat. Here's one for you, though. Some guy swallowed a capsule that expanded into a foam dinosaur. You know how you give kids those little things, they put it in a tray of water and it blows up? Yeah. So that went down someone's throat. A glass Christmas tree light. Oh, Tannenbaum. Maybe you could see something glowing from inside. And my favorite, a drill bit. How do you swallow? How do you even get in your mouth? A drill bit.
Wow.
All right, now we're going to the penis.
Oh, see, I don't even want to hear this.
The first one on the list, crayons.
Oh, a crayon.
Here's the next one. You're going to love the next one. A chopstick. Who decides to put, who even thinks of this, right? A
There was soy sauce on it.
lollipop stick. And the last one, let's go back to bobby pin and get the reason why. Unable to achieve erection and thought it would help.
It was like a stent.
I don't know. Now we're going to move on to the vagina.
Oh, my God.
Toothbrush. A perfume bottle. I actually thought the perfume bottle, a nice scent, right?
Cylindrical.
Here's my favorite. Could you imagine what, and I'd like to know what the figure was, a toy action figure. It could be hilarious, right? So you're in the emergency room and he pulls out Darth Vader or G.I. Joe. I mean, I don't know who, but
Maybe
there's some.
Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, God, is that Buzz Lightyear?
Or Woody, yeah. Oh, is that for real?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's up an ass, though, not a vagina. I might have jumped the gun.
How about a Buzz
Watch the video,
Lightyear with
we're
the
looking
wings extended, right?
Got an X-ray of
infinity
Buzz
and beyond.
Lightyear inside somebody.
And then here's one for vagina. Jumped off couch, landed on spoon.
Well, that's a lie.
Yeah, well, of course. Now we're going to go to the rectum, which is what Tim's been waiting for, the rectum. All right. Quotes. Patient states he slipped in the shower and landed on a metal air freshener can and it went into the rectum. A metal air freshener can. I slipped in the tub. A turkey baster. A cigarette lighter. A toy hockey stick. A water gun.
G-spot.
A water gun. Now, this made sense to me. We hear that on the news all the time. A bag of heroin, because people smuggles that way, right? An egg timer. A shampoo bottle. A light bulb.
Yeah, light bulbs are big,
Light bulb. That's...
which is dangerous.
And they're glass.
Yes.
Hello.
That's big.
And then a can of applesauce. Just to round it out, I thought I'll just throw the can of applesauce in.
My friend Chris worked in the emergency room. He was a med student, and he had said, Chris Crenshaw.
Oh, yeah.
He had said that they were, and he was in I think it was Temple Hospital, and he said that they could not, sometimes people would come in, because the stories, he said, were so outrageous. And I'm like, how do you not laugh? He said his favorite one was this guy had like one of those trophies, like a runner with the arms up and a trophy a kid would
Where
get.
was it at?
It was in his butt. And so the trophy, and it had the arms and the hands, how you would stand these metal trophies.
Yeah.
And so they asked the guy how it got in there. He said he was dusting in the library and he slipped off the ladder. And Chris is like, I guess we all walk around with a whole jar of lube on our ass. He said, in order for this trophy to just slip in while I was dusting.
Let's dissect that. I was dusting in the library on my ladder, which means you have a library big enough to roll a ladder around the room.
Trophies lying around.
And I slipped off the ladder, and lo and behold, the runner's trophy went right up my rectum, through my pants. Unless he was dusting in the nude, right?
Chris said he probably had a gallon of Vaseline on his ass. I laughed. But yeah, he said the stuff that people would come in with like that.
So what a great, okay, so that, yeah.
Yeah, I could not be a doctor, I don't think, with those sort of things. I guess if you're in the emergency room, I
don't even know how they keep a straight face.
No, that's
right?
what he said.
Especially if that happened. All right, so that's...
I would laugh.
So I thought you might get a kick out of that.
Although I don't understand it. Particularly putting stuff in the penis. Yeah. I know some people do that as a fetish thing. Sounding, I think they call it.
No, look.
Boys know about
From
it.
a medical perspective, like if anybody's ever had to have a catheter or something for a
Why do you
medical
want that?
thing, just even the thought of that, and that's a very, yeah.
I guess mine is in that, I don't know if these are related or not, but my headline is, and this came from out of the UK, new angled toilet designed to reduce time workers spend in the bathroom.
An angled toilet.
Angled toilet.
So now you put up on the screen a picture here.
Right, so there's a new toilet. It is at a 13-degree angle. They've decided 13-degree was optimal. So if
Now for you,
instead
if
of
you're
a
listening at
horizontal
home,
toilet-
it's angled down towards the front, right?
Right. So it says the standard toilet, which comes in a wall-mounted and floor-mounted model, is receiving backing from the British Toilet Association, the BTA. I didn't know there was such a thing.
We really need to start a trade group. I mean, like.
Well, this is a nonprofit group for the BTA. It was established in 1999. It promotes the highest possible standards of hygiene and provisions in all away-from-home toilet facilities across the UK. So there's apparently an issue in the UK of people spending time on the toilet at work. So
Enough of an issue that has been reported.
they've contacted the BTA, and they were trying to figure out how to get people off the toilet.
Wait. So you're at work, you go to the bathroom,
When you're there too long.
you bring a book, you bring the newspaper, whatever people do on the toilet.
I'll jump ahead.
Okay.
Because I found this.
They felt they had to call the BTA.
Well, I found this statistic odd. What do you think? They did a survey of 3,500 people in the UK in different cities. The average time spent on a toilet break in London. How long do you think the average toilet break was in London? Going into the bathroom.
8 minutes? If it's sitting down.
28 minutes.
28? Wow.
In London, it was 14 minutes. In Leeds, it was 4 minutes.
What's going on in Leeds that no one wants to stay on the bowl that long? There must be something.
Well, I'm sorry. It was 28 minutes in London, 14 minutes in Leeds, 4 minutes in Birmingham. Either way, what are you doing on the toilet that long? And they said...
In 4 minutes in Birmingham, that's a hop in town. I have to go to the bathroom. No, don't stop the party. I'll be back.
The average UK adult spends about 416 days of their life on the toilet.
Read
Brits love a toilet.
that again?
The study commissioned by the BTA found that UK adults will spend approximately 416 days of their life on the toilet, in the bathroom.
All right, so, my God, the math is astounding. They took the daily, let's say you go to the bathroom twice a
So
day.
what they found out is at work, people were going to the bathroom. So they contacted, a standard toilet worked with the BTA and some engineer called Mahabir Gill. And they designed a slope at a downwards angle of 13 degrees so that a person sitting on the toilet has to use their leg muscles to sit firmly in place, otherwise they're going to fall off the toilet.
So here I thought this was more like the squatty potty.
No, that's what I thought.
It was just helping you go faster, but no, this is literally like an ejector seat.
They said traditional toilets with our horizontal seating enables a user to sit relatively comfortably for long periods of time. Of course, the longer you sit on this toilet, though, the more uncomfortable you're going to be with this slope toilet. They also say that the slope toilet helps because it's going to reduce risk of hemorrhoids. Anyone who sits there with your ass cheeks spread reading, you're going to get hemorrhoids. You know that, don't you?
I have been
Toilet
told
reading.
this. I have
So
not
it's
experienced
estimated in the United Kingdom alone that extended employee breaks cost business and industry an estimated $6 billion US. Too much time on the toilet.
All right, so now I can see why you might alert the BTA, the British Toilet Authority or Association. Was it probably an authority? It's the
BTA.
Yeah.
Of course, Andy McGuinness, who's the manager of the Crohn's and Colitis UK Association, says that the sloping toilet is toilet shaming and adds that there's a huge stigma that surrounds defecating. Making having a poo more uncomfortable targets people living with conditions like Crohn's, who may need additional time to use the toilet. This is discrimination, plain and simple. So he's fighting against the slope toilet. Meanwhile, standard toilet's trying to bring it to the U.S.
All right. By the way, that last point you made is actually true about people with Crohn's colitis. They do have different needs.
Right, but I don't think they're sitting on the toilet for 28 minutes.
No, but sometimes they have to be.
Well, you get in and out, in and out, in and out. I get that.
But
How often you don't sit on the toilet for 28 minutes. Have you ever sat in the toilet for 28 minutes?
No. But to be honest and to be fair, I've sat on the toilet for like 15 minutes.
You guys sit in the toilet?
Yeah, I mean, I read or something, I lose track of time.
You can have hemorrhoids.
I don't. There's more to hemorrhoids than just sitting on the toilet.
You
by
sit
the
on
way.
the toilet, you're spreading.
Yeah, but
It's
also,
gonna create hemorrhoids.
Dr. Tim is in the house, right? If you sit on that toilet, there's more to a hemorrhoid than just sitting on the
What
toilet.
else is there? I think sitting on the toilet creates hemorrhoids.
It's
according to
straining to get a movement out is a primary cause of hemorrhoids. If you're prone to that already, then yes, you don't want that muscle relaxed for as long as you're on the toilet for.
I will say these first 2 shows this year have gone off to really.
Actually, I was really thrilled when I think these are right on the money. These are fun facts to start the year off, right?
I've never read in the bathroom, and I never understood it. We weren't allowed to read in the bathroom. My house. No reading in the bathroom.
Oh,
Did you read in the bathroom at your house?
Well, yeah, we had a magazine rack right by the toilet.
Did you guys grow up reading in the toilets?
Did you have magazine rack in the?
Reader's Digest.
Yeah.
I grew up playing Game Boy on the toilet.
Robbie Bobby.
Game Boy as well.
Game Boy.
What's Game Boy?
Game Boy.
Oh, Game Boy.
Hey, I grew up
Game
playing
Boy.
with Game
Say,
Boys on the
Steve.
toilet.
But I tell you, that Game Boy, we found our Game Boy the other day.
You had a Game Boy?
And we still do. And Bob plugged the Tetris cartridge in, put the batteries in. Oh my God, I was in heaven. I thought, it's a single-use device. I'm going to play one game. It's in black and white or yellow and gray. You know how the screen was. Anyway. Yeah, I'm with these guys. My reading materials
We only
now.
had one bathroom in our house.
You got to cycle through.
So we had to keep it moving.
What was the Bennett household?
I could see-
Constantly having bowel
I could
movements?
see my mother getting a sloped toilet.
Well, it sounds like nobody ever finished, so they're always going back to finish what they started. They're going so quick.
And with a sloped toilet in particular, that's going to cause trouble.
I just don't understand people. Well, now people on their phones a lot. Happens here at the studio, at the bathroom here. You guys have probably heard people on the phone in the bathroom.
Talking.
Yeah, I purposely make noises. I flush the toilet and make all kinds of noise so somebody knows. And then you hear, I'm in the bathroom.
Okay, so for some stupid reason, I'm thinking of the movie Austin Powers, the first one. And he's in a stall and he's getting choked. And next to him is, who's the comedic actor that was next to him with a Western accent and a cowboy hat? You fight that turd! You fight! Don't let that turd control you!
Tom Arnold.
Tom Arnold, that's it. And and he's being choked and he's making all these noises, but the guy's totally misinterpreting it. Oh, my. You know, what was the movie that we watched? Oh, we watched Grease over the. That's another one that popped up on the.
Grease?
Yeah,
I love Grease, but not
I do
something
too.
I would see.
I do too.
Sitting to watch through.
But here's what captivated me about the movie. Could they make it today? I think the answer is no.
Grease?
When you study the lyrics, there's a lot of stuff
me
going
too.
on there. Yeah, exactly. And when Stockard Channing, one of the pink girls, right? When she made that movie, she was like 34,
They were all
35,
old for high
and she's
school.
playing a 16-year-old girl, but you just accept it, right? We laughed about that.
The one you should watch, which I don't think you can get away with, is Animal House.
Oh, yeah.
That one's, yeah. Although I still laugh at it.
Oh, and here's another good recommendation. If you happen to have the Criterion, we got a deep discount. I ordered Criterion's Silence of the Lambs. I put it in, and I thought Bob was going to... It's one of Bob's favorite movies, one of my favorites. And I thought, we're going to watch this pristine. The print looks beautiful. It's a really good print of the movie. Sound is great. And like 2 minutes in, Bob goes, turn on the audio commentary. So it has this commentary track. Amazing, because Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, Jonathan, all the people that are involved, directors and actors, comment as the movie goes along. And you've probably done this, is watch the comment thing as well. In the case of Silence of the Lambs, especially Anthony Hopkins, there are some brilliant things he says and about how he prepared to be Dr. Hannibal Lecter, the whole bit. Anyway.
It's like NPR over there at the Nash Barnes household.
All right, so we're
We're
going
going to class it up with the business birthday.
Everyone does celebrity birthday greetings, but the Focus Group is the only show in the universe that celebrates business birthdays.
I struggled to find a birthday today, but I did find one. Pierre Samuel DuPont. Pierre DuPont, born January 15th, 1870. He died April 4th, 1954 at 84. He's an American entrepreneur, businessman, philanthropist, and member of the prominent DuPont family.
I was going to ask if it was the same lineage.
Right, he was president of DuPont de Nemours from 1915 to 1919. He served on the board of directors until the 40s. He managed General Motors, I didn't realize this, From 1915 to 1920, became GM's president in the 20s. He served on the board until 1928. He was also a founding member of the board of directors of the Empire State Building, which opened in 1931. He was good friends with the builder of the Empire State Building. What was his name? Radkos?
The developer?
Raskob? Yeah. The designer, it says. Raskob. Raskob. Do you know him? You don't know him? No?
I don't think that jives with what I remember about that.
About the Empire State Building?
Shreve, Harriman, and Lamb was the architectural firm that did the Empire State Building.
Yeah, they said
That could have been the lead, though, the lead architect or the lead designer.
Well, or maybe the money backer, because these people are all involved with money. So he was born in Wilmington, Delaware. He was the oldest son of all the DuPonts there. So, you know, the state of Delaware is essentially owned by the DuPonts.
I had no idea.
Yeah. I mean,
I love that graphic you have of their Delaware, America's other Hawaii.
I was looking for a picture, and so if you're watching on the video, I mean, foolish. I mean, I've been to Hawaii. Delaware is by no means.
Hey, but it's
close.
easier to get to Delaware than Hawaii, right?
Anywhere close to Hawaii is the first state, of course. He and his brother developed the first American smokeless powder in 1892. So as everyone knows, DuPont's a big chemical company, amongst other things. And the company really did well after World War I because of a lot of the advancement in munitions. And so then he ended up, he went to MIT along with a bunch of his family members, and they've given millions of dollars to MIT. To this day, they still give money to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He opened his famous estate, which everybody, particularly in the holiday time, Longwood Gardens. Have you ever been there?
No.
It's beautiful, and it's open to the public, and it still is, and it's magnificent. He was a bachelor until age 45 when he married his cousin Alice.
Okay. Hey, cousin Alice. She must be 2 or 3 times removed,
Well, I
right?
was trying, her Alice Boleyn, or Balin.
How do you spell it?
Belin.
I think you did a good job with that.
Married his
pronunciation,
cousin.
yeah.
They had no children.
But bump.
Gave lots of money to schools. I just, sometimes John and I are going to do a book on birthdays. This one won't make it, probably.
No, because your criteria for
Got to
that
be something.
that was like you had a really fun criteria for a business birthday. But hey, you found one.
I did find one. The other one, which we've done many times, that's why I didn't do it, is Aristotle Onassis.
Oh, we don't need to do Onassis.
No,
We've done
and
him
so,
before.
but we need to find another one. There were a couple of others that came up that were obscure, but that was
All right. We are going to take a super quick break here, my friends. And when we return, we're going to be talking to you about some advice that Steve Jobs had. It's a tool he used to get through the days in life, and it's an interesting one. So we'll be right back after this quick break.
You're listening to The Focus Group with Tim and John. Learn more at focusgroupradio.com. Focus on the savvy side of 9 to 5 with The Focus Group.
Try, really try.
Listen, laugh,
And learn.
with Tim and John.
I never try anything. I just do it.
Hey, welcome back to the Focus Group. Tim Bennett here, as always, with my good friend and co-host, Mr. John T. Nash. Thanks for joining us here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. East, although I will tell you, you time shifters, none of you are watching at 1. We appreciate when you do watch, and
Yeah.
the show's been growing and growing, and we're going into our 13th year, and we're delighted that you're here with us. So,
To all our listeners, Tim is the numbers man. Tim
Numbers
knows
man.
you know the data on the show. Tim dives into the data.
but it's not. But I, as a throwaway comment, but not really. But we looked at, and we've talked to other friends that do shows like
Live
ours,
or
and
not
particularly
live.
people that came from live platforms
Serious,
like Sirius.
like Garrett, yeah.
And the amount of people now that just time shift,
Huge.
huge. Look at what you and I just did talking about The Crown. We watch it at convenience. You want to watch one or two, you want to watch one. So it's the same with our show. The numbers initially, you're like, oh, what's going
But
on
then
here? But then after a week and then a month, and then you
Oh,
can
yeah.
see people catch up. So we appreciate it. Go to focusgroupradio.com and you can find all of our shows there, as well as our podcast unbuttoned. So Shop Talk today, as John teased, I thought this was interesting.
Yeah, I liked it
It
too.
says Steve Jobs said that the most important tool he'd ever encountered, this was the most important tool he had ever encountered to make the most of his life. It said it helped him make the right choices the bigger they got. And
Well, he's quoted, and he says, "Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life." So let's repeat: remembering that I'll be dead soon. So this is how the mindset. And by the way, I don't disagree with this, because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. And I believe we've all seen this with a sick relative or a friend,
So I wonder, do you think he said this when he was sick?
No, he said this quote came before the diagnosis. Yeah.
Because he also says the concept of death can help guide us throughout our lives.
Yep.
Because he said when he was a teen, he came across this quote, "If you live each day as if it were your last, someday you'll be right, or you'll most certainly be right."
Yeah.
And I had a friend I was talking to, and I remember him saying to me, he said, "I used to think death was possible," and he's older now. He goes, "But now it's probable." He goes, as growing up, I always thought death was possible. He said, "But
now it's probable.
Now that I'm in my 70s, it's probable."
But still in a P. It's still in the letter P. Possible, probable.
But his point on this, and I guess maybe similar to Jobs, is if you still have dreams, you still have possibility. There's still I don't want to say hope. Is hope the wrong word?
It's just if you have time, how you're going to spend it is.
But it keeps you living. I mean, do you? So, what was the question he said he posed?
So ask yourself a tough question. If it was the last day of your life, would you want to do what you're about to do? So you're getting ready to go to work for the morning or get on the train. It's the last day of your life. Is this what you want to be doing? Now,
putting a Buzz Lightyear up your butt?
Yeah. Going to the hospital to get a thermometer pulled out of your ear because you fell on the bed after putting it in. There is a caveat, because Steve Jobs stood in the mirror and asked himself that very question every morning for nearly 2 decades. Whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. The caveat there is too many days in a row. There will always be the no days. There will always be days you don't want to do what you're doing. But it wasn't a monolithic, like, I have to be happy every single day and I have to love what I'm doing. He just used it as a barometer to say if the no's are adding up faster than the yeses, I'm on the wrong track.
Directional.
Yeah, direction.
Do you talk to yourself?
Do I talk to myself?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every day? Do you verbally talk to yourself, or do you think to yourself? In other words,
I think to myself.
So you don't stand in front of the mirror and says, "Today, I will sell this house today."
Oh, my God. You're quoting your most hated movie in the world.
The worst movie on the
American
planet.
Beauty, Annette Bening. I will sell this house today. And she's
the English Patient.
Well, I happen to agree on the English Patient.
Talk about putting you to sleep. But I wondered about this. So he says he stood in the mirror and then would ask himself, and I wondered if he verbalized it. Am I happy about what I'm going to do today?
I'm thinking of Stuart. Was it Stuart Smalley? Gosh darn it!
People like me.
People like me. I'm sure with Jobs that he probably internalized it, but when you tell that, when you're telling the story or telling someone this technique, you probably say, I ask myself this question in the mirror every day. And that's more theatrical, but...
See, I wouldn't want to know if it was my last day. Because I think you then have too many expectations, which just leads to disappointment, right? If you have lots of expectations, this day is my last day. I'm going to do all these great things, and you end up getting disappointed and you're dead.
But the meta idea from a career point of view or from a work point of view, does it jive with you? Or if you had to hold this up and say,
Well, and they gave the example, I think I wrote, about some people say follow your heart, right? So you follow your heart. And he said the tougher question is, if this was the last day of your life, are you happy about what you're doing? So it's different than, I'm going to follow my heart. I'm going to do what I love.
Correct.
So he says this is really...
this is a little more...
Yeah, a bit more direct. And I remember when I had horrible back pain.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember laying on the sofa one time, and I could not walk. I couldn't even stand to brush my teeth. And I actually said to myself, if I died today, I'll be fine.
Because you were so unhappy and you were in such pain.
But I guess it's a certain amount of contentment, because I think of this, and of course we have parents that are aging and friends that are aging, and you wonder about, because I said a lot of people think about what was my worth, but what did I accomplish or what did I do, and am I happy with what I did? Are you happy with? They say you never know what Your life never unfolds the way you think it's going to.
Nope. So true. And you and I have actually been talking about this on a lot of our phone calls. It must be because it's the end of the year, it's the new year, it's resolutions. It does, as much as I think the holidays bullshit, the New Year's itself, because the second hand goes tick and it's over. Tick. Now it's the new day. Okay. It is a line in the sand, it's a stake in the ground, whatever metaphor you want to use. And I do use it to kind of look backward or look forward. Like I've changed my outlook this year is going to be
Very positive.
positivity.
Positive.
We'll see how long that lasts for, but I'm working on
So
it.
sweet, we're going to get diabetes.
But no, I think that that goes all the way back to us talking about The Crown earlier in the show, about that episode where Prince Charles or Prince Philip meets with the astronauts. It's just one of those things where you're like, look at what they've done. What have I done? And you and I have looked around. We've had people in our lives who've been extremely successful, people who have unfortunately had really terrible health outcomes at early age. How do you even...
And there's a certain amount of luck, which people don't take into...
I don't think they take it into account. One of our good friends, Tim Mahoney, used to always say the biggest ingredient of any successful career is luck.
Luck or timing.
Yeah, so I think...
I would, if I could go back, like Cher, turn back time.
If I could turn back time.
Turn back time. By the way, sidebar, I just saw her do... She's still hoofing it. The concert out in Vegas, they have a whole one on the YouTube. But she's moving, but she's not
Was it the jukebox show we saw where
it was close.
barely
It's
gets in?
changed.
Okay.
It's changed, but she's...
Anyway, if you go back in time.
So if you could go back time, this is why I was watching this. I thought I would like to be a musical entertainer like that.
Oh, my God. Wait. If not that, you would have been a great DJ.
Could have been a DJ, maybe, but...
Or you could have
Somebody
been...
will tell you could still do that.
Yeah, you can, but I think that... You know what you would have been great at? You would have definitely been...
Old man DJ.
All right, we're going to do the Macarena. That's not that long ago. You would have actually been a great radio jock on a music channel. Like Larry the Duck or some of these personalities where you could actually talk about the band,
Music, yeah.
why it meant something.
But, so I think about that sort of stuff. So,
And if you went back in time, would you play piano?
Well, yeah, and I was thinking of doing piano lessons. Here's my problem with the piano. I look at people that play the piano, and they've got these long fingers. My fingers are big.
Slender fingers.
Then I look at Elton John. He's like pudgy. Elton John's fingers are like this. How he plays that piano is
but
down.
when he was Yellow Brick Road, that's a function of age for him.
Really?
Yeah.
But I watch these people do the boogie woogie piano, and they're not looking, and I don't know how they're messing up. Not messing up.
An amazing talent.
Did you play the piano?
No. Nope. Practice. Did
you ever play?
Nope.
Did you try?
I did this
Lessons?
one. Brum, bum, bum, brum. You run your knuckles over the keys.
I was thinking of doing that. I don't know. I would like to learn to play one song.
By the way, why not? What's stopping you?
Nothing's stopping me.
You're not going to be a piano player in a bar. You just do it.
I want to sit and play good stuff.
Well,
practice makes perfect.
Okay, invite me to the concert 5 years from now. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just that it's going to take a lot. You have to do your scales. You have to practice,
I've seen these things you can do them on the iPad, on the machine.
Yeah, you know what you want? You want a real piano. You don't want iPad. You want the keys.
No, we have a real piano down at the beach.
You have that grand piano.
Baby grand.
It's a beautiful piano.
So
why don't you get it tuned up? And then once a weekend.
There's a tutor there. I thought I was going to have him come in on Saturdays.
I would do that. My God. You know what? You'll have a ball. The time's going to fly by. I think you should do it. I really
can't read music, and I'm not interested in reading it.
Now we got a couple problems.
I want it numbered. I want to put numbers on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's hit 7, 7, 2, 2, 1. I don't want to read this thing.
All right. Have the tutor call me first. I'll tell him to just do whatever you say. But he has to learn how to read music. He's not going to learn the music. He wants numbers.
I had an organ when I was a little kid, and it was numbered.
Color-coded.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I 5, 6, 5, 3.
Yellow,
7, 9,
red,
5,
green,
6,
blue,
5,
red,
3.
yellow, blue, yellow, red,
6,
blue,
6,
yellow.
7, 7, 7, 8.
All right, folks. We got to wrap it up.
Oh.
Here we are in the second week of January. The show is thoroughly off the rails. Hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. We did learn a lot. I feel like at the end of Pee-wee or something, or Captain Kangaroo. What did we learn today? I learned a lot. Rewind and go to that thing I did about what gets pulled out of people. Anyway, Don't text and drive. Please arrive alive. And we're going to see you on next week's broadcast. So stay safe and healthy. And don't put things where they're not supposed to be.
I thought you were going to say on Netflix.
Only we could wish, right?
It's The Focus Group with Tim Bennett and John Nash. Accessible on all platforms. Subscribe, like, and rate us on your platform of choice. Learn more at focusgroupradio.com.
That was a stunning focus group.